So I was getting ready to bolt the drive shafts in my Jeep, and I got to thinking about some of the mistakes that I see people make with their drive shafts. One of the most common misconceptions is that people believe a CV jointed drive shaft like this allows for more angularity than a traditional single U-jointed drive shaft like this. Now the problem is that both of these drive shafts only offer about 25 to 30 degrees of angularity, so they'll both bind at about the same time. Now, in order to figure out if your drive shafts are binding, you can pull your Jeep in to the garage or driveway and raise it up by the frame, let the axles completely droop out, and then check the drive shafts for any interference. Look to see if the U-joint is hitting the yoke anywhere. Make sure the drive shafts rotate freely with the suspension fully drooped out. Now, in some cases, you can come in here and you can clearance the yoke a little bit with a grinder. Sometimes you can come into the yoke on the axle of the transfer case and clearance this a little bit, but there's only so much material there and you can only go so far, so you can't go much further beyond that 25 to 30 degrees. Now, you don't want to be running anywhere near that 25 to 30 degrees because that is the maximum. You need to allow for some suspension movement. So in most cases, a single U-jointed drive shaft like this is probably going to want to be running at about 5 to 9 degrees, no steeper than that at the U-joints. Now, if you go beyond that, you're going to have some sort of drive shaft vibrations and the U-joints will wear out quickly and you may have other problems. Now, a drive shaft like this with a CV, because of the inherent design, it allows you to rotate the pinion up and it gives you some ground clearance advantages and it decreases the angles on the drive shaft. Now, this CV can typically handle about 15 degrees at ride height without having any inherent vibrations in most cases. So, in order to figure these angles out, it's oftentimes easy to just use a angle finder like this. I found this one at a local hardware store for a few dollars. This one has a magnet on it, so you can figure out the angle of the drive shaft, you can figure out the angle of the U-joints, and you can go from there. This is especially handy if you're doing an axle swap or trying to figure out why you have drive shaft vibrations. Now, I've only scratched the surface here of drive shaft problems, but if you have any questions or anything, post them in the comments below, or if you have any comments about videos you'd like to see, post those down there as well.